She was the only woman who ever kept both Alfred Hitchcock and a US president awake at night. Grace Kelly was so breathtakingly beautiful that very few men could resist her charm. However, this took a heavy toll on her reputation and sparked fierce debates about her true nature. Was she an elegant lady or a nymphomaniac? A noble princess or a prostitute? Before we dive deeper, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Grab yourself a warm drink, maybe a cup of tea, or just some water, and sit back as we begin this journey together. Grace Kelly was born into an Irish-American family in Philadelphia, where her father, a wealthy brick work contractor and Olympic champion, set impossibly high expectations for his children. As the third of 4 siblings, Grace often felt overshadowed by her family's brilliance. Her brother won 4 Olympic gold medals in rowing, while her sister built a successful career of her own, leaving Grace struggling to carve out her own place. Yet, the bright and curious girl was soon captivated by the stage lights. From small school plays to community theatre, she found comfort in transforming into different characters, as if acting was her only escape from the overwhelming shadow of her family. Still, Grace's artistic dream met resistance at home. Her father once harshly remarked that acting was just one step above being a prostitute, a prejudice that only fueled her determination. Under her family's doubtful eyes, Grace quietly nurtured her passion until she graduated from high school. Then came a bold decision. She left behind her sports-obsessed household to move to New York, a city she believed could turn her dream into reality. In New York, Grace enrolled at the prestigious American Academy of Dramatic Arts, where generations of great actors had been trained. But the path was anything but easy. The high cost of living forced her to take modelling jobs to make ends meet. On fashion magazines and in advertising shoots, she grew comfortable before the camera and honed the elegance that would later become her trademark. By day, she studied diligently in class. By night, she hustled through endless auditions, patiently waiting for her break. That persistence soon paid off. After numerous rejections, Grace finally appeared on Broadway, every young actor's dream. Her debut role in Strindberg's The Father alongside Canadian star Raymond Massey marked the promising beginning of a career destined to leave an indelible mark on the world of art. In the early 1950s, Grace Kelly was still just a newcomer, taking on a few supporting roles in films, including High Noon, 1952. Although she had set foot in Hollywood, Grace wasn't fully satisfied. She stepped away from acting for a while to return to New York, where she devoted herself to private acting lessons with the ambition of sharpening her craft and preparing for a bigger break. That break soon arrived. In early 1953, she was handed the script for Moambo, a dramatic adventure directed by John Ford and starring 2 legendary names, Clark Gable and Ava Gardner. Grace immediately recognised it as her golden chance to prove herself. In the film, she portrayed Linda Nordley, a refined, gentle woman with layers of emotional depth. Her subtle, yet powerful performance instantly captivated both audiences and critics. Before long, Grace Kelly earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, an astonishing achievement for a newcomer. Moambo not only lifted her out of the shadows of minor roles, but also propelled her straight into Hollywood's A-list. From then on, the image of Grace Kelly, elegant, graceful with golden hair, flawless skin, and a radiant smile, was forever etched in the public's mind. In just 5 short years, with only 11 films, Grace built a dazzling cinematic legacy. Her performances in Rear Window, Dial M for Murder, and To Catch a Thief became timeless classics, drawing audiences into worlds of fragile yet burning romances, where her characters triumphed over adversity through intellect and allure. When the light of the projector spilled across the silver screen, Grace Kelly didn't just act, she created magic, leading viewers into a dreamlike realm everyone longed to touch. Alongside her fame, however, Grace was entangled in rumours of romantic affairs with co-stars like Clark Gable, Ray Milland, and William Holden. Behind her angelic image with her signature white gloves, whispers suggested she was far from a saint. The wife of director Henry Hathaway once remarked bluntly, Grace wore white gloves, but she was no saint. Indeed, Grace seemed to possess a unique magnetism for older men, an attraction that transcended the conventional boundaries of her time. Grace's first love was with Don Richardson, her high school boyfriend and one of the rare men close to her age. It was an innocent, simple romance, but it didn't last long. Soon after, Grace entered a very different chapter of her life, where older married men seemed irresistibly drawn to her. Jean Lyons, who was 10 years her senior, was the next step in a string of relationships that stirred public gossip. Then came Ray Milland, a celebrated screen star nearly her father's age. Their secret affair, while Milland had been married for 2 decades, was nothing short of a ticking time bomb. When his wife discovered the truth, she threw him out of the house, igniting a media storm. The press branded Grace as a home wrecker, but the scandal didn't stop her from making more controversial choices. As her fame grew, so did the rumours surrounding her. Whispers suggested she was romantically linked with David Nann, the charming gentleman who was also already married. Some claimed she pursued these affairs to gain favour in her career, while others believed she simply craved the thrill of conquest. Even darker rumours hinted that she had once become pregnant and undergone an abortion with fashion designer Oleg Cassini. No evidence was ever confirmed, but the stories were told with such vivid detail that they blurred the line between fact and fiction, lingering like shadows in her life. Then destiny intervened, reshaping Grace's path forever. In 1955, at the Cannes Film Festival, she happened to meet Prince Rainier of Monaco, ruler of a tiny but dazzling principality on Europe's map. Amid the splendour of the cinematic celebration, Grace's radiant smile and captivating eyes left an indelible mark on the prince. What began as polite exchanges quickly blossomed into something deeper. Letters travelled back and forth between Hollywood and Monaco. Heartfelt conversations unfolded, and discreet meetings fanned the spark into a fairy tale romance. Rainier soon realised that in Grace he had found not only a soulmate, but the perfect partner for life. When Grace accepted the invitation to Monaco, the dazzling palace was not only a display of royal luxury, but also the setting for a fateful encounter. Grace's beauty and charm completely captivated Rainier. Just a year later, he crossed half the globe to Hollywood and proposed. Touched by his persistence and romantic gesture, Grace said yes. In April 1956, their lavish wedding between a Hollywood star and a European prince stunned the entire world. Yet behind the fairy tale lay bitter sacrifices. To become a princess, Grace had to leave Hollywood, the place that shaped her identity, her passion, and her stardom. Millions of fans mourned the loss of a rising star at the peak of her career. Meanwhile, the Kelly family had to provide a staggering dowry of $2 million, a financial statement underscoring the royal family's prestige. Grace wore the crown of a princess, but at the same time, she lost an essential part of herself. Her marriage to Prince Rainier, which seemed like a dream, quickly turned into a cold reality. Rainier was not the romantic, attentive partner Grace had longed for. He was often described as calm, even distant, showing little concern for his wife's emotional needs. Being a princess meant carrying the weight of endless ceremonies, duties, and expectations. For someone who'd once thrived in freedom, adjusting to royal protocols, learning a new language, and integrating into a foreign land, left Grace feeling lost and isolated. After her father's death, the grief dragged her into a deep emotional abyss. 6 years into her royal marriage, rumours spread everywhere that Grace was preparing to return to Hollywood. People said she would reunite with Alfred Hitchcock for a major project, but that plan never came to life. Grace candled everything, explaining that the packed schedule of a princess and the duties of a wife and mother left no room for her to return to cinema. Hitchcock wasn't convinced. He believed it was Monaco's strict conservative nature that truly held her back. Meanwhile, her marriage to Prince Rainier grew cold. Although they had 2 children within the first 2 years, national obligations kept the prince away from his family, and their bond weakened over time. Before marrying into royalty, Grace had a secret romance with her charming To Catch a Thief co-star Cary Grant. Even as Princess of Monaco, rumours persisted that she kept in touch with him. Cary openly expressed his admiration, praising her in ways Rainier never did. On the other hand, the prince himself was rumoured to have affairs, adding even more pressure on Grace. Though unproven, the whispers were suffocating. She longed deeply for her old life, free and dazzling, but it was gone forever. Their marriage soured, and no one knows if Grace ever thought of leaving it all behind. That remains a mystery. Then tragedy struck. On a September morning in 1982, Grace was driving with her youngest daughter, Stephanie, along the winding cliffs of Monaco. A sudden stroke caused her to lose control of the wheel. Stephanie tried to grab it, but the car plunged down a steep 50 FFT slope. The accident happened in an instant. Both were rushed to the hospital, but doctors could not save Grace. Stephanie survived with minor injuries, but Princess Grace, the once glittering icon, drew her last breath at 52. Her passing shocked the entire world. Prince Rainier, despite their imperfect marriage, mourned her deeply. He never remarried, never loved another, and when he died in 2005, he was laid to rest beside her. Their unfinished love story, though stormy, remains a testament to the loneliness behind the throne. Yet, Grace Kelly's legacy endures. The Princess Grace Foundation stands as a symbol of her compassion, supporting young artists in theatre, dance, and film through scholarships and training programs. In this way, Grace continues to ignite artistic dreams just as she once did herself. Grace Kelly was not just a Hollywood star or a princess of Monaco. She was the embodiment of fragile beauty, of pride intertwined with tragedy. And her life story, with its brilliance and its shadows, still lingers like a haunting melody, ensuring future generations remember her with both admiration and sorrow